Hi, and welcome to the February edition, 2015 of Rowlett on the Water, on the Move. I'm Todd Gattell.
And I'm Brian Funderburk.
And it's 2015.
I know.
Isn't that exciting?
I know.
It seems like we're talking about last year just a short while ago. Well, this show is produced entirely by city staff and can be seen on Rowlett's own television network, RTN 16. You can also, that's right, all day long. And you can find us on your favorite streaming video page at your favorite website, which is
YouTube.
No, it's Rowlett.com. I say YouTube, you say Rowlett.com.
Rowlett.com.
Well, all right, let's try this again. So you can say us on our favorite streaming video page at
Rowlett.com.
Very good. And of course, you can find us on YouTube by going to Rowlett Texas Video, and we're in full HD, which is really exciting as well. You know, you can find us in a lot of ways. You can also view previous shows that way, as well as you can look at our different segments that we run. So lots and lots of fun, lots of ways to keep yourself entertained.
And live council meetings.
And live council meetings, of course. So, what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about an exciting downtown project today.
Well, we've got a really good program today.
We do.
That's right, because we're going to talk about let's talk about downtown for just a minute, because we've got a lot going on downtown. And I'll tell you, big changes are coming to the village of Rowlett.
Yes.
The village. How do you like that word, the village?
The village.
The village.
Of
The
Rowlett.
village.
Yes.
The village. How do you like to say the village? Mm-hmm. You're really excited.
Yeah, well, no, it's pretty cool. The name is pretty cool. The project is going to be very cool.
Yes. So the Village of Rowlett is a $30 million transit-oriented development. And this particular project is located right here in downtown Rowlett on approximately 12 acres. And there will be a range of building types, which really excites me because it really helps with the diversification of housing and uses within the unique village environment, including, as we talked about, modern housing concepts, local retail, commercial destinations, high-quality pedestrian amenities, and memorable open spaces.
Mayor, they do have some very interesting features in that project, and if you look at what they're planning to build on their elevations, almost every single building will have something unique about it.
That's right.
This won't be just the same old, same old. It will have all kinds of features, including, as you said, memorable open spaces.
Well, it's really, really cool. I know we have only a sign up there right now along Main Street. I drove by Main Street, and I always kind of drive very, very slow because I always kind of envision what's it going to look like when it's done. And here's this family that got out of the car, and they walked up to the sign, and they're pointing at the sign, and the kids are kind of nodding, like there's a lot of excitement that's there. And I really, really am very excited about the opportunity and what downtown's going to bring. And what you see today is going to be completely different from what you see a couple years from now.
That's right.
It's really going to transform really what we are as a city.
Very quickly, too, within 24 months.
Well, and as Chris Kilgore often talked about when he was on council, what did he always say? We're building the downtown that we never had. And so it's really, really exciting time. So tell me about construction, because that's one of the big questions. When is construction going to begin?
They'll start construction in the spring, most likely closer to about February. At that point, the chamber building will be relocated. At that point, the library will have moved out. They'll start the demolition first. Although there'll be some of the buildings that they'll start first, they intend to do the entire project in less than 24 months.
I know that
Very fast.
That really is amazing. And when you look at what's going into that project, this is not one building. You're going to have apartments, you're going to have lofts, you're going to have cottage homes and townhomes. It's all part of this project, which is really exciting. So when we talk about the building types, plus the commercial, plus the retail, there'll be lots of different uses there. And I love the fact that they pay attention to the little tiny details. I was talking to somebody last week about that, and I said that's what makes this project so special. The distance between the lighting, just to make sure that there's illumination on the street, the type of street trees that are being used. All of these different elements are going to make a really walkable, wonderful downtown area. And so, of course, we're going to start off with the move of the chamber building.
Yes.
That's coming soon. And of course, that is really exciting. That is going to be an event in itself. You wait until you see it moving around the clock tower. Every time I drive by around the clock tower, I'm thinking, how are they going to get that building through that space?
At 1 to 2 miles per hour. This will be a very long process, a long day, but it is going to be really interesting to watch them do this.
Can I ride in it?
I don't know.
Or do you think they'll let me drive? Can you imagine that?
No.
I would not want to be seriously, all kidding aside, I would not want to be the guy driving that bus at that point.
No.
Because I think about it's not like have truck and trailer, we'll move. It takes really specialized type of equipment.
Right.
And the knowledge and know-how to be able to do that. And you know what's even more cool? We've got a local downtown Rowlett company that's going to be moving that
Yes,
building for us.
that is very
Which really is hard to believe, because you look all over, you think about how am I going to get this building moved, and literally he's almost right across the street from us. So that is really exciting as well. So I cannot wait for that to happen, and that's going to be a really cool event. And if you're available, well, of course, we'll have that date published. It's probably worth getting a blanket on the lawn and just sitting watching that and enjoying the view.
Yes.
So,
It'll be fun.
so let's talk about the library, because that's one of the kind of the real serious aspects of this. Excuse me. And one of the things and the challenges that we've had is there's a ton of misinformation around, and I stumbled upon this Facebook page and was "Save the Public Library. Please don't let the city tear it down, and don't let the library go away." It was basically what it said, and I'm like, well, that's not true. So maybe you could help quell some rumors.
Well, Mayor, the truth of the matter is that our library will remain a key component of downtown. And when the project is completed, it will be located at the ground floor of the most prominent building along Main Street. Now, there is an interim plan.
Oh, can I say this?
But yes.
The library is not going away.
No.
The library is not going away. The building that currently houses the library will be torn down, and a new building will be constructed, and we have a temporary facility.
Yes.
We'll talk about that, but just want to make that very clear for those that we weren't clear. We're not getting rid of the library. The library is an important part.
We're not closing the library.
That's right.
Now, there'll be a period of time that they'll close for about a month.
Right.
We're thinking somewhere in May, but they'll be open in time for summer reading. They'll be open in time for other programs that they got running this summer. So as a part of the development and redevelopment, the existing structure that houses the library will be demoed. But as city staff has briefed the city council over the past several months, and we've held discussions on this, we have looked at various locations. We've looked at what best meets the needs of our customers, what best meets the needs of our future, if we wanted to do something else with a building beforehand. So as a result of all of our discussions and negotiations, we purchased a property at 5702 Rowlett Road, which is up there just south of Community Bank. We bought this to temporarily house the library for up to 24 months, and then we will repurpose for alternative city uses in the future once the library moves back downtown.
Well, I think that's important, because this particular building, really does have a lot of potential uses to it. But I think from a standpoint of a temporary library facility, it really is a great facility. It has great access. So it's not dangerous in terms of parking or being able to get into the an entrance of it. It's very accessible, because it's from basically parking lot to door. It's actually a lot closer than what we have today. And so I think the facility will be a really good facility. And you got to keep in mind, the libraries of the future are not the libraries of today.
That's exactly right.
And so really, the journey that we're going to take is really about building the library of the future. And this is a great interim step toward that, where we can take all the materials. Now, I want to comment on the move for just a second, because this is not your traditional move where you load up the van and off you go. This is a very specialized type of move, because when you think about all the books and how they're categorized and the specific order in which they're kept, it takes a very special type of mover to be able to move this type of a move. It's pretty significant when you think about the amount of materials that we're doing here. It's not like throw some books in the truck and off we go.
Well, and it takes some serious planning in terms of laying out the floor plan in the new facility, and having the shelving and our collection moved to that location and put in there so that our customers can find things once they go in.
That's right.
So as you're right, there's a lot that they have to do to get ready for this. Staff and our consultants are helping us prepare for that step. One thing I do want to say too is that we put a lot of analysis into whether or not to lease or to buy. And
that's right.
I think the council really made an extraordinarily good decision when they did this, because we could have either paid $600,000 in lease payments to use that facility for 2 years, 24 months, or we could acquire the building for $800,000 and make all the improvements necessary to not only house and operate the library, but also repurpose that for the future. If we have other facilities that we need to use for economic development, we will have a place to move those folks.
Well, and that honestly, Brian, from my perspective, was the big challenge. As we sat there and had that discussion in detail, it just, initially thought, we'll just go find some temporary space. Then you go and find the temporary space isn't really purposed, correctly. Meaning
Right.
that it's not built correctly. It doesn't have heating and air conditioning. It doesn't have the adequate lighting. It doesn't have a lot of those things. It doesn't have adequate parking. And you start looking at this stuff and thinking, well, in order to make those improvements, it's going to be extremely expensive. So when we weighed the cost, it just didn't make a lot of sense to be able to say, let's go lease this thing. I mean, our job is to be really good stewards of the taxpayers' money. And from my perspective, it just was not being a good steward to go out and do improvements for somebody in the community, for a building in the community, which we don't own, which we're only going to use for a very short period of time, and leave hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of improvements.
That's right. And by acquiring the facility outright, we sold tax notes as tax exempt, which yielded a lower interest rate. And it became very apparent to us that it was more cost effective and financially prudent for the city to purchase the building, make the needed improvements, and then have a location and an asset that we could use in the future. Or we can sell it.
Well, and that's really the key to this thing. Long term, from my perspective, and I know council agreed, was really around repurposing the building potentially down the road. We have roughly about 24 buildings, we've been told over the years, that the city occupies today. Our ultimate goal really has been consolidation. How do you bring the services together? Ultimately under one roof? You would love to have that, so it makes it easier for the citizens. However, there are some cases where it doesn't make best use of the space to have that particular department under one roof. But you'd like to consolidate departments, and you'd like to provide more space and be able to get as many of those departments in one area. Right. And there's also some other potential uses as well for that building for other types of services. Really can't talk about that now, but we've certainly got some really great ideas of things that we may be able to do for certain groups within our city to assist them at some point as well. So lots of good news there. We're excited about the transition, and just to recap, we are going to have a library. It's going to remain open, except for that short period of time in which the move is going on. So let's talk about the transition plan itself.
Okay. We're going to be doing the improvements to the temporary space through about April. We're going to vacate the existing building and conduct our move between April and May. Somewhere pretty much the month of May will be closed, maybe a week earlier than that, but we'll be open again for summer reading. Just to note that during that time, we will have a couple different locations where people can sign up for summer reading, one of which will be down at the RCC. We want to make sure that everybody still gets to sign up because there will be summer reading this summer. Then we'll demo the existing building. That will probably happen between the period of June and August. And then the Village of Rowlett construction of the library space will begin in August. Take about a year. I'm sure there'll be some polish up. A month may slip, but somewhere between about a year, they should be done somewhere in the neighborhood of August of 2016. We then would move into the Rowlett space back to the library downtown sometime in the fall of 2016. So almost 2 years, maybe about a year and 9 months from now.
And to be honest with you, I don't think you want to move any sooner than that.
No, there's no
because
reason.
there's all the construction going on there. It's going to be a mess.
I know.
I mean, when you think about, if you really look at what's down there, and we had an opportunity to actually see a 3D computer rendering of what's down there, and then you think about the restaurants that are going in across the street. We're going to have like 5 restaurants downtown, and that's in addition to all of the other stuff that's going on. And so with the roadway going, I mean, all the infrastructure going in and the buildings that are being built, like I said, 2 years from now is going to be a whole different story, and you're going to have traffic. People living downtown, hopping on the DART rail, walking to work, basically. In other words, walking to the train station, hopping on the train, and it's really exciting time. And I think the library is a really important component of really developing that downtown concept.
I agree, Mayor. This is going to be so nice. And as you mentioned, we got to see that 3D version. I cannot wait to share that with the public because I think that will build an awful lot of excitement about what this thing is going to look like.
Well, we are very, very exciting. So we are very excited about everything that's going on. So, we've got the relocation of the library, we've got the relocation of the chamber, we've got the building in downtown, we've got 3 restaurants going in across the street, we have Zanatas that's in the process of being built. I'm excited.
Have you seen the demo?
I did.
Yeah, so they've got the land prepped and.
I think it's great.
This is going to be a very nice.
I had
talk about Zanatas. That is, it's going to be very nice.
Well, and I had an opportunity to talk to the owner this past weekend, and he was just extraordinarily excited. And everybody I talked to that knows about Zanata said, "I can't believe it's coming to Rowlett. I can't believe it's coming to Rowlett." So those of you that are not familiar with Zanata, they actually are located today off of the square in downtown Rockwall.
That's right.
So the old downtown that's there, it's a brick oven pizzeria. They actually have a chef, so it's very gourmet, very upscale, reasonably priced. They've got a wonderful bar area that's in there. You can walk in literally in jeans and a t-shirt or a tux and you'd fit right in. It's just a really fun environment, and the food is just absolutely spectacular. And I love that place. That is one of my favorite restaurants. So the fact that they're coming here to Rowlett really excites me.
Well, and this is going to be a little larger. They're also going to have a brewery concept.
Well, right, and I was going to say it's a different concept.
Yep.
And what would you say? What the word is? Brewery. That's right. They're going to have a microbrewery as part of this thing. So you talk about adding the uniqueness of downtown to this. Imagine having a microbrewery as part of that. That's pretty cool.
It's
awesome.
Pretty special.
I'm excited.
Well, and as we mentioned, of course, too, we're going to be relocating the Chamber of Commerce building. And when discussions started related to that building, our options range from relocating it to multiple locations within the city or even to demolishing the building. And after discussions with staff, social media, email communications, speaking at meetings, and even one-on-one conversations in the community, we ultimately understood that our community valued this building. And City Council directed staff to proceed with the location.
That's right. And the building's going to be moved from its current location of 4500 Main Street to where the old Fire Station 1 used to be, Brian. So it's almost directly across from First Baptist Church there on Main Street, where the old Fire Station 1 sits. So it's going to demolition of the current vacant structure will occur in the next month or so, and the relocation is going to be complete by April.
Yep.
It's exciting. So lots of good things there. We've got a great new program for the city of Rowlett, and which I'm very excited about because it really has to do with the well-being of our community and with the help of Lake Point Hospital.
Mayor, we're calling it the Community Health Paramedic Program, but we received a grant from the Dallas-Fort Worth Hospital Council. Rowlett Fire Rescue has partnered with Lake Point Health Network to create the Community Health Paramedic Program. And the program focuses on community members who've been discharged from Lake Point Medical Center and have chronic or non-acute conditions which can be managed by one of the community health paramedics, addressing their primary needs and directing patients to the most appropriate level of care instead of having to go back to the hospital again and again.
Well, and we've all had parents, and we've all had sick children in a lot of cases, and there's nothing worse than dragging them back to the emergency room. You're there waiting. Number one, they're pretty crowded in the emergency room to start with.
Right.
But then in addition to that, it's a lot of times you may spend hours and hours for them to basically send you right back home again. So once enrolled, the initial consultation appointment is scheduled with a community paramedic, and a personalized care plan is developed with the patient's primary care physician. Subsequent follow-up to appointments are scheduled on an as-needed basis on the personalized care plan, which means they'll come out to you.
That's right.
Which is really exciting.
That's right. And so, doctors don't make house calls anymore.
That's right.
But our
fire department does. That's exactly right.
That's right.
So here's what the community health plan paramedics can do for our residents. Exciting?
It's very exciting, Mayor. And what they can do the typical blood pressure checks, glucose, oxygen saturation, ear, wound checks, and medication reconciliation. And oftentimes, particularly with the elderly, that's the part that gets them, after they come back out of the hospital, they stop taking the medicines that they need, and they go back into a worse situation than when they went to begin with.
I have that exact thing happen to a friend of mine whose parent did exactly what they did. They stopped taking the meds, and off they go right back to the hospital again. And then after a short to lengthy stay at the hospital, they come home and they're back on the meds again, and what do? They forget to take the meds. So it would be really great to be able to have somebody come out to the house and say, hey, take your meds.
Right.
Essentially, and be
or
able to do those checks. That's
or
exactly
whatever
right.
it is, but check on them periodically so that they don't fall into the habit of having to go back to the hospital.
That's right. And they're really talking about, assisting homebound patients that do not qualify for home care or hospice, and really to provide preventative services such as home safety inspections and fall risk assessments. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you normally don't get.
Right.
I mean, you usually have to, you may have to pay somebody to come out, but the fact is, with that grant, allows us to be able to do that type of stuff, and it's such a great community resource.
And Mayor, one thing I want to point out too, a lot of times when people have surgery, they go home, and sometimes they trip or fall and they reopen the wound to wherever the surgery was. So that home safety inspection and that risk assessment, I think, is really valuable for folks that just, when they get home and they're hurting, they just want to lay down. They don't want to look through their house and look at their trip hazards. they don't want to worry about that. Our folks will go in there and they'll do that for them.
That's exactly right. So very, very exciting stuff. And so we've got actually a short video that talks about some of the community health paramedics and a tour of their fully equipped vehicle. So let's take a look at that.
All right.
Hi everybody, I'm Brian Began, the Fire Marshal for the City of Rowlett. Today I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to discuss a new service that the Rowlett Fire Department has to offer our community. With the help of Lake Point Hospital Health Network, we have launched a community paramedic program. This program seeks to reduce hospital readmission and improves access to the care for the Rowlett citizens. I have Rowlett Fire Rescue EMS Director Chris Winesapple here with me today to tell us more about this new exciting program for you and your family. Chris, thank you for being here today. Can you please advise our audience about this new program?
Absolutely, Brian. Thank you. Well, through a grant from the Dallas-Fort Worth Hospital Council, Rowlett Fire Rescue has partnered with Lake Point Health Network to create a community health program. The goal of this new initiative is to increase patient access to primary and preventative care, provide medical intervention within the community health model, and ultimately improve the health of the community that we serve.
Good.
So the program focuses on community members who've been discharged from Lake Point and have chronic or non-acute conditions, which can be managed by a community health care paramedic addressing their primary care needs and directing patients to the most appropriate level of care when needed. So Brian, in an effort to enhance the continuity of care for our community, we've built a program that will not only give our patients personalized support from paramedics already serving the citizens of Rowlett, but it will also provide assessments of the individual's ability to take care of themselves at home, give some self-care coaching and regular checkup visits to monitor and support their progress with a goal towards independence, or as we like to say, a graduate from the program. We believe, and have in some cases already seen, a decrease in unnecessary return visits to the hospital while simultaneously providing a higher level of care to the community. Now, in situations where the patient has limited resources, our team will actively work to secure additional outside resources for the patient as necessary. The Rowlett Community Paramedics Initiative aims to serve more than 150 patients within the first year of our program. Caregivers and healthcare providers may recommend participation in the program. However, enrollment in this program is completely voluntary. Now, once enrolled, an initial consultation appointment is scheduled with a community paramedic, and a personalized care plan is developed in consultation with the patient's primary care physician. Now, subsequent follow-up appointments are scheduled as needed on the personalized care plan.
We're back at Fire Station number 1, and this is Charles Hantla and Greg Deere, and they're part of the community health program. And they're going to go through the process and tell us what's on the unit that they have here and what they do in their daily work. Okay? Greg and Charles, whichever one wants to take off.
Hi, I'm Greg Deere. I'm a firefighter paramedic and also the B-Shift EMS representative. I'm also a community health paramedicine along with my partner Charles.
I'm Charles. I'm also a firefighter paramedic here in Rowlett and a community health paramedic. I'm the assistant EMS shift coordinator for B-Shift.
We'll show you around our vehicle and explain kind of what we do to serve our public. We partner with Lake Point, as you can see on our vehicle, that we're able to offer a non-traditional type of EMS care to our citizens in the way of a community paramedicine, being able to go and visit with our clients on an appointment type basis, just in an effort to improve their well-being and their health, maybe prevent some repeat visits to the hospital. We do this on an appointment basis. We keep in contact with them constantly, and hopefully within 30 to 45 days we're able to graduate our clients from our program. Some take a little bit longer, some a little bit shorter. It's all just according to what the diagnosis is and how the patient is progressing with their procedure, and then we just kind of assist them along the way, and we'll show you around our vehicle and show you what we do. Where we use a lower profile vehicle for going to the houses, just in the effort to avoid tying up one of our 3 ambulances. We're able to use this vehicle, and it also is a little bit of a lower profile, parked in front of our client's house. It's still marked as a fire department vehicle. It still uses the capabilities of lights and sirens if we had to respond to an emergency. We also carry, as you can tell, we carry our bunker gear inside of our vehicles, just in case there's a large scale incident that occurs. We're able to kind of extricate ourselves from the CHP program and become firefighters again for that scene. And so we're able to respond to large occurrences or large scenarios and assist the firefighting capabilities of the department. But from 07 to 7 at night, we are actually labeled as community health paramedicines, and we're, for all intents and purposes, maybe even a separate detachment from the department during that time frame. What we have up front is we have Our computer is set up to be able to monitor our whereabouts, and we're able to treat it just as we would any other medical incident. We're assigned an incident number. We still do a report. We still check in and out with dispatch when we get there so they know our whereabouts. So we're in constant communication with them as well. In the back of our vehicle, I'll let Charles kind of go through what we've got back here and what it provides for our clients.
We carry a full complement of EMS equipment inside the vehicle. This allows us to perform all the duties and tasks associated with the MICU ambulance other than transport the patient. So if we visit a patient and we find that they're having some trouble, we can go ahead and start treatment in the field, call for an ambulance for transport, and have that patient taken care of immediately. We do use the LifePak 15 cardiac monitor. All of our apparatus carry these. These allow us to do field EKGs and monitor capnography, breathing, and oxygen saturation. And then also our red bag kit comes with a full complement of intubation equipment, IV setups, medications. Anything that we can do on the ambulance, we can do out of this vehicle from these two pieces of equipment. So that allows us to provide a very high level of care to our citizens, and also allows us to respond to other incidents, like Greg said, in the event of a shortage or an additional need, we can respond as a first responder as well.
The other programs that we're able to offer to our citizens too is when we go out and set these appointments and we're talking with our clients, is we sit with our clients, we listen to their concerns, we can spend a little more time on an intimate level with them that we're not allowed or able to do when we're there functioning as an MICU ambulance. We've got a little bit more time. We can do an inspection of their home and check for any hazards that might be trip hazards, fall hazards. We check for smoke detectors to make sure that they're installed and operating properly. Just last week we had a client who had a life alert system that she had had for over a year that was not functioning properly. We diagnosed the problem and had it working for her within 15 minutes. So now when she has a problem and she needs to use a life alert, it's now in working order for her, whereas it was not before. So we try to spend a little bit more time, get a little bit more intimate with our patients, know their concerns, their cares. We go through their medications with them. We make sure they're taking their medications appropriately. If we sense a problem there or we see a problem, then we'll contact their physician to try to make sure it's straightened out, there's no confusion. We're just able to help them a little bit more intimately than we can when we're there on a 911 emergency call. The citizens come through us through a referral from Lake Point Hospital. We have case managers there that we work with on a daily basis, and when they see a patient that would qualify for the program, they send us an email, they contact us, let us know that they have a patient approaching discharge that we need to come and visit with and introduce the program to them, which case we'll go actually to the hospital, we'll go into the room with the case manager, she'll introduce us, we'll talk to the patient, explain the program to them, and then they'll actually sign a form saying that they agree to be in the program, at which case we'll contact them when they get home and set our first appointment to come and visit with them, and then it just follows its natural trail from there.
Charles and Greg, I appreciate you taking the time today to give the tours for the citizens, let them know what's going on in the CHP program. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Sure, thanks.
Guys, I want to appreciate you for listening and watching today. If you have any questions or any comments, concerns, please get a hold of me at bbegner@rowlett.com. And until next month, have a safe and happy month.
Well, another very serious issue that we always talk about is really the water restrictions that we have in place. You know, up to this point, we've still had stage 3 water restrictions in place. The lakes are filling. I kind of say it kiddingly. We're talking quarter inch by quarter inch, but you do see some level of improvement when we've had some of these rains, but we're just not getting the level of rain. So we're in stage 3 water restrictions. So,
you know, Mayor, I know our customers are absolutely tired of hearing about these restrictions.
I'm tired of hearing about the restrictions.
I'm tired of it, but every time you drive by the lake, you see why we're having water restrictions.
Yeah, that's right.
And a lot of times we're on Lake Ray Hubbard and we see it and we think, well, okay, but if you go to Lake Lavon, where we get our water from, it's even lower than that.
And Brian, I'm amazed at literally, I remember Lake Lavon because I had a boat out that I kept on Lake Lavon. And I remember going out and sitting by the shoreline and going, wow, what a great lake. Literally that same spot today, you can literally almost walk probably about a quarter mile, it seems like, out to the middle of the lake. without touching any water. I mean, I look at that and go, where's the water? And you know, and we're talking like, this is not just a flat surface. This is a pretty significant drop. So how much rain do you need to really be able to lift or elevate that lake? I think Lake Ray Hubbardston was 12 feet at this point. It is significant. And of course, Lavon's in the same boat, and so are all the other area lakes.
We did see, they showed the area lakes on the news last night, and they were showing Lake Lavon at about 59% full, and at least Texoma is 86%.
That's right.
And they're pulling in a fifth of the water now from there.
That's right.
So that does help.
Well, and what does it mean to the citizens of Rowlett? You know, it means that landscape watering with sprinklers or irrigation systems is restricted to once every 14 days with a corresponding last house number for your address. And of course, you know, you can see that on the chart that we have up here. And you know, I mean, and it's a serious issue. So basically, once every 2 weeks, and of course you can water. Now, it's not that big of a deal in the wintertime, but as we start getting into spring and start getting into summer, you've really got to pay attention to those restrictions. And you've got to be careful, because if you don't water enough, you could lose a lot of the landscaping that you have in front of the house. That's right. why it's so important to use things like drought-tolerant plants. And you think about, what type of flowers do you plant every year? You know, I do a lot with the lantanas, because they come back year after year, but they still require water. And that's really not the most drought-tolerant plant that's out there. And I'm just using this as an example. So you've got to think about that. But what does it mean when you talk about stage 3? It means no landscape watering between 10 to 6. It means hand watering for a couple hours a day. You know, and it means you can water every 14 days, but you got to follow the last digit of your house number.
That's correct. And then until North Texas receives significant rainfall, we expect stage 3 restrictions to remain in place. If the drought continues, there could be even a future move to stage 4, which they've never triggered in the history of the district.
Which we absolutely positively do not want. I mean, to me, that is almost catastrophic to a certain extent, because it means no landscape watering, it means zero watering of foundations, it means a lot of things. And so we're really, really serious. So it's really important, you know, and we're going to do an upcoming program on conservation and really about becoming more energy efficient and things like that. When you think about, you know, just changing out something as simple as a shower head, or changing out the fixture in your toilet to be able to use a gallon of water versus multiple gallons for a flush. I mean, there are little things you can do. Turn the sink off when you're brushing your teeth, in between your toothbrushing and your rinsing. It's really, really important, because it saves a lot of water overall. And it may not seem like a lot if you're one individual, but if you have a house with 5 people in it, that's a lot of water. It's a lot of showers. Make sure that your washer's full. Don't just throw 2 towels in there and do a load of laundry. It uses the same amount of water. You know, a lot of the new equipment that's out there, you know, if you look at Home Depot and Lowe's and you go to those places, all the new washers, they're very energy efficient. They use a lot less water. Those are the types of things that are going to help long term. And when you multiply that times all of the homes in Rowlett and all the homes across the Metroplex, it does make a big difference.
It does, Mayor. It does.
Is your heating turned up too high?
As a citizen of Rowlett, you may have heard us talk about grading your streets and alleys, and your streets and alleys receiving a PCI and/or grade. You may have also asked yourself how in the world they determine the PCI and/or grade of our pavement. Grading streets and alleys are similar to a teacher grading a research paper. Like some research papers, our streets and alleys have flaws. Measuring those flaws, such as cracks and broken pavement, are entered into a software program called MicroPaver that helps us determine the grade by deducting points based on the number of flaws in the pavement from the beginning to the end of a street or alley. Once the street department determines the grade, aka PCI, of the pavement, we then move into the process of determining, based on the grade of the pavement, what streets and alleys we can perform preventative maintenance on to help keep the good streets good. Preventative maintenance on our streets and alleys are similar to the preventative maintenance we must keep up with in our homes as homeowners to help extend and protect the lifelong investment we have all made. Like with homes, there are 2 preventative maintenance methods that are similar to each other that we use to extend and protect the life of our pavement. crack seal and foam injection. Crack sealing pavement is similar to a homeowner caulking cracked wood or window sills around their home. The objectives of sealing cracks are to reduce the amount of moisture that can infiltrate a pavement structure. Just like with moisture coming in and around the window sill, if the sill is not caulked, it will cause the wood frame to rot. The same happens to our pavement. If we allow moisture to infiltrate the foundation of the pavement, it will deteriorate and fail. We understand it's not pretty, but if performed effectively and in a timely manner, joint and crack sealing will help to reduce pavement deterioration and thereby prolong pavement life, in most cases 3 to 5 years. Foam injected pavement is similar to a home's foundation being repaired. Homes and pavements, such as streets and alleys, are built on the same soil foundation and experience the same problems when the soil begins to settle. Just like pier and beam is to stabilize a home's foundation, foam injection is a process that is used to either raise and or stabilize concrete slabs to extend and protect the life of our pavement. From 2008 to 2012, we have spent $14.7 million on street and alley maintenance. The average street PCI has went from a 74 to a 76 and allows us to see that we are doing everything it takes to keep the good streets good. There comes a time with our pavement, as well as homes, where we know we have put the maximum amount of time and resources toward preventative maintenance as we can, but as investors, we know that we still have to continue to protect our investments. When we have reached the point that preventative maintenance is not a viable option, we then have to focus on rehabilitation. Minor rehab, or what we like to call concrete slab replacement, is most commonly used on streets in fair to good condition with a PCI or grade ranging from 40 to 60 and above. On streets such as these, we find isolated concrete slabs or sections that are failing and can be removed and replaced. Slab replacement for streets and alleys are no different than we as homeowners needing a few panels of sidewalk replaced to bring it back to as close to original as on the day it was built. Major rehab is our highest level of rehabilitation. Major rehab repairs are performed on our asphalt pavements when the foundation underneath experiences failure. When this happens, it requires removal of the asphalt surface and a complete foundation repair or pulverizing the asphalt, as we refer to it in our industry. When performing major rehab on our asphalt roads, we like to think of it as if you were re-roofing your house. Re-roofing a home requires the removal of the surface or shingles, and in some cases, the foundation of the roof itself. And interesting, did you know, roof shingles are recycled and are an ingredient used to make the asphalt surface we drive on today. Here are some graphs of streets and alleys where minor and major rehab have been performed and the positive impact it has made on the PCI. These are perfect examples of what occurs when we perform effective rehabilitation. From 2004 to 2012, these are street and alley projects that have been completed. Maintenance and rehabilitation are critical for both homes and pavements when it comes to providing a safe place to live and commute, and ultimately a way of life when it comes to protecting our lifelong investments.
Mayor,
I'm batting my eyes. Did you see that?
I see that. You know, February is Love Your Library
That's
month.
right. Will you be my city manager, Brian?
I'll be your city manager, that's right. You know, you can visit the library this month to show that you love your library. You can contact the library at 972-412-6161 for information about how to obtain your free library card. And here's library employee Kathy Boland with February's calendar events at the Rowlett Public Library.
Hi, I'm Kathy Boland from the Rowlett Public Library, located at 3900 Main Street in downtown Rowlett. February is Love Your Library Month. Visit the library this month to show that you love your library. Whatever your reasons for loving your library, personal enjoyment, intellectual stimulation, children's books and activities, research materials for school, home, or work, or access to computers and the internet, and more. we invite you to join in celebrating the library. Contact the library at 972-412-6161 for information about how to obtain your free library card. The library has programs for families to enjoy together. Family Saturday Movie and Popcorn on February 7th, Family Saturday Crafts on February 14th, and Family Saturday Games on February 21st. The Movie and Popcorn program on February 7th at 2 p.m. will be the PG movie Hook, a Wonderland and Peter Pan adventure. Check the library's calendar or website for more information. Wear your jammies and bring your favorite blankie to curl up and listen to a wonderful sleepy time story on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. for Pajama Story Time. This program is suitable for young children and families. The library is dedicated to promoting early literacy, and our story times are excellent for building word recognition and promoting a love of reading. Programs are at 10 a.m. and repeated at 10:30 a.m. 3 days a week, and are designed for babies on Mondays, toddlers on Wednesdays, and preschoolers on Fridays. Library staff can introduce your baby to books and vital pre-reading skills with interactive story times on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. In February, The Young and the Restless is ideal for babies ages 0 to 2 years. Library staff can teach toddlers letter recognition with interesting and colorful tales, some set to music, on Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. in February with Giggle Wiggle story times. Toddlers will have fun while developing a love of learning. Continue your preschoolers' introduction to the alphabet and promote early word recognition with their own story times with Shake, Rattle, and Read on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. For grade school children, the Rowlett Public Library has a prime-time book club on Thursdays at 4 p.m. in February in the meeting room. Introduce young readers to a new series and encourage new genres. This month's topic is Adventurous Voyages. Rowlett Public Library will celebrate Love Your Library Month in February with an edible book contest. Have a favorite book you love to sink your teeth into? Share it in the form of an edible book. Make a representation of a book title using edible items and bring to the library on January 31st. Entries will be photographed, and the photographs will be on display through February 14th. You can then take your entry home and eat it if you wish. Winners will be given awards at a special Valentine's Day program. All ages encouraged to participate. Need more information? Check our website or call the library at 972-412-6161. Visit the library in February to learn how much there is to love about your library.
Well, this is one of my favorite segments. Of course, they're all my favorite segments, right?
Yes, they're all your favorite
Well,
departments.
you know, I have these like favorite departments. I don't know if I have a favorite, but they're all really cool stuff. And so this month in our Park and Recreation Department, we are featuring a Park of the Month, as we do every month.
That's right.
And our favorite Park of the Month this month is, for 2015, February 2015, is what? Rowlett Nature Trail.
That's right, the Nature Trail. You know, and this park is home to lakes, ponds, picnic tables, and trails for both hiking and biking. The Rowlett Nature Trail is located on Miller Road and Dexham Road in Rowlett. And don't forget, the Spring Lakeside Leisure is now available online
At your favorite website?
Rowlett.com.
That's right. Or you can even swing by and pick up a hard copy of that at the community center.
That's right.
You know, what's really, really cool about this is we have so many programs. I need to talk about this for a second because this is so important. You don't realize how many programs. We take a lot for granted. We got this community center. To me, is one of the best kept secrets we have in all of Rowlett. And when you page through page after page after page, they have program after program after program. From young children to senior adults, there's always something to do
Always.
at our Parks and Recreation Department, all these different classes. I mean, it's really cool stuff, and it's really, if you're looking for something to do or get involved, this is a great way to do that, and just a lot of fun. So you can go to rowlett.com or swing by and pick up a copy at the community center. And so with that, we have our community center staff with a calendar of events for the Parks and Recreation Department for February 2015. Here you go. Take it away, guys.
It's February, which means it's time for us to turn our thoughts to the sweethearts that make our lives special. The Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department has several programs taking place in February that you can participate in while spending time with the sweethearts in your life. Have you tried the new Mommy and Me fitness class? This free class is the perfect mix of dancing, stretching, yoga, weightlifting, cardio, and play. Spend great quality time with your little prince or princess while getting fit with friends. You will work out to all the fun, upbeat Disney classics. Mommy and Me fitness class will take place on Tuesdays this spring from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And did we mention that it's free?
Seniors, join us for our monthly potluck social on Thursday, February 12th at 11:30 at the Rowlett Community Center. Lunch will include chicken. Please pre-register and remember, bring a dish to share. Get ready to hit the slots and win big at the Choctaw Casino. On Friday, February 13th, enjoy the ride with friends. The bus will depart from the Community Center and travel to Durant, Oklahoma for a day of fun at the Choctaw Casino. Fee is $10. Please pre-register.
Attention athletes ages 18 and up. The Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department will be offering adult athletic leagues this spring for men's basketball and co-ed volleyball. Grab your friends and join us for a little fun and friendly competition. Registration for all adult leagues is open until February 22nd. Men's basketball will run on Mondays in March and April. Divisions of play will include men's open, men's church, and 35 and over. Don't forget to register early and get the early registration discounted rate of $325 per team if registered by February 13th, and $350 if your team is registered by February 22nd. Co-ed volleyball will run on Friday nights in March and April, and the early registration discounted fee is $200 per team if registered by February 13th, and $210 if registered by February 22nd. Divisions of play will include power and recreational. All leagues will include an 8-game season, with the top 4 teams making it to the playoffs. Championship t-shirts will be awarded to the winner of the playoff tournament. Sign your team up today in person at the Rowlett Community Center located at 5300 Main Street.
Insanity is also another new fitness class offered by the Parks and Recreation Department. In this class, you will receive total body conditioning in just 50 minutes. You will boost your metabolism through performing blocks of plyometric exercises as well as strengthening every muscle group in the core and balance block. This is a class for all fitness levels as you will choose your intensity level. Classes will be offered this spring on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Come out and meet other local seniors at lunch around town. Every 4th Tuesday of the month at 11:30, a different restaurant hosts this program. On February 24th, Palio's Pizza is the spot. This is a great opportunity to meet new people and visit with long-term friends while experiencing the taste and social scene around the community of Rowlett. The Rowlett Community Center hosts several ongoing programs throughout the month. These programs include pickleball, table talk, baked goods, coffee and donuts, Texas Hold'em, birthday party socials, bridge, senior health checks, canasta, and Lake Ray Hubbard wood carvers. Please call the Rowlett Community Center at 972-412-6170 to find out more information on each program.
Don't have anyone to watch your child while you participate in programs at the Rowlett Community Center? No worries, Child's Play is a drop-in playtime program for parents while they are working out or enjoying what the Rowlett Community Center has to offer. This is a stimulating environment that allows children to explore, play, and interact with other children. Child's Play is available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and Monday through Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The fee is $3 per visit per child or $20 for a 10-visit punch card.
Girls Youth Volleyball registration is open until February 22nd. This league is coordinated for girls ages 7 to 14. Practices will begin in March, and league play will take place on Saturdays in March, April, and May. Teams will play 7 regular season games and will participate in a single elimination playoff tournament at the end of the season. The league fee is $65 for center members, $70 for Rowlett residents, and $80 for non-residents. A league jersey is included in the fee. Participants may register at the 5300 Main Street Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.,
Saturday 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., or on Sunday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Texas Amateur Athletic Federation Men's State Basketball Tournament will be held at the Rowlett Community Center on March 20th and 21st, 2015. The entry fee is $175 per team. If you have a men's church basketball team and would like more information about this tournament, please contact the Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department at 972-412-6170.
Parents Day Out is another great program for your preschool children. The class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays each week from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pre-registration is required. Children will be introduced to numbers, letters, and colors through music, free play, and arts and crafts. Each month is themed differently, so there is always something different that you don't want to miss out on. Skyhawk Sports will be offering Skyhawks basketball starting on March 4th. The program will run until March 25th on Wednesdays from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. This fun, skill-intensive program is designed with all the beginning to intermediate players in mind. The staff will focus on the whole player, teaching your child the skills needed both on and off the court to be a better athlete. The fee is $49. Not planning on going anywhere for spring break but need something for your kids to do? The Rowlett Parks and Recreation Department will once again be hosting the SOAR Spring Breakout program from March 9th through March 13th at the Rowlett Community Center. This program is fun, active, and educational. Every day will bring a new theme of activities to ensure they never get bored. Our staff are all experienced at working with kids and all have background checks. For more information about any of our programs or services, please call the Rowlett Community Center at 972-412-6170 or visit us on the web at www.rowlettx.gov/Parks and Rec.
Well, this is one of my favorite sections. Hold on, let me prepare for this one, okay? And I'll let you guess what we're going to do.
What are you doing? Oh, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about technology tips.
That's right. Let me get some technology here. Isn't that the nerdy thing? The technology
yes,
stuff?
that's
Okay,
right.
all right.
Yeah, Friday nights. Battle of the Nerds.
So, I can't see with these glasses on. Can you help me out?
If you're like the mayor, you have a different login and password for the website you visit. On this month's text tip, Phil is going to teach us about password managers.
Who?
Phil.
Phil Barrett!
Phil Barrett.
You're not getting excited about Phil.
He is such a cool guy.
All right, here. Hold on. Let me try to do this. So, if you're like me, how's that sound? It sounds more better without the nerdy glasses on. How's that?
Yes.
And I can't see without glasses. But if you're like me, you have a different login and password for every website you visit. Here, let me put my real glasses on.
Here.
There we go. On this month's tech tip, Phil Barrett, how do you like that? Is going to teach us about password managers. Go ahead, you can pick up this.
You know, a password manager
that was your radio voice, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Okay, all right.
Well, they are programs that allow you to create a database of passwords and save it to your computer.
Do you want to try these on? This is really cool. You got to try this on. I bet you look good in those.
Will they even fit?
I think so. Take your glasses off. All right, I'll tell you. Here. Perfect. I'll finish
now
this up.
I can't see what you're going to do.
Okay, here. I'll give you this. You can put these in your pocket.
Okay.
That way, here you go. You put those in your pocket.
Right.
That way you can be official, okay?
All
right, because you're like the finance guy. They have all that kind of stuff in their pocket.
Do they really?
Yeah, I think so.
Pocket protectors and all
let's
that?
talk about password managers. They are programs that allow you to create a database of passwords and save it to your computer. You can't see anything, can you?
I can.
Okay, good.
It says, I know what the last line says.
Okay, well, I'll let you do that in just a second.
Okay.
So it's really cool. It's really important because one of the hard things is you get all these different passwords to be able to get in, and sometimes it's so confusing. So you got to be able to have a place you can kind of manage that and be able to keep the database. So Phil's going to help us talk about that, which is really important because a lot of times if you don't do it right, you get locked out, and that just ticks me off because sometimes it's like some have 6 digits, some have 8 digits, some have 12, some have characters you have to add, so it gets real confusing. So he's going to talk about password managers. So with that,
take it away, Phil.
You probably have a ton of passwords. Everything we do online now seems to require one, and they start to add up pretty quickly. Most people tend to reuse these passwords, or even worse, just use one, because it's difficult to remember a lot of them. However, using the same passwords over and over again is dangerous. If someone gets one of your passwords, then the first thing that they'll try to do is to use that same password at a bunch of other commonly used websites. If they manage to get access to your email account, then they don't even need to guess at your other online accounts. They can just use that email to reset any passwords that are tied to that address. Since companies get hacked fairly frequently, it's not too much of a stretch to think someone might get access to one of your online accounts. A solid way to defend against this is to use a different password for each online account. Furthermore, passwords should be as long and complicated as the website allows in order for the most protection possible. The problem, as mentioned before, is that it's nearly impossible to remember that many passwords, especially if they're varied and complicated. One solution is to use a password manager. Password managers allow you to create a database of passwords and save it to your computer. That database is then encrypted, so it can only be accessed using your master password. That way, the only password you ever have to remember is that one master password. Everything else is stored in the file. Password managers don't come without their own risks. You're putting your passwords in the trust of a third party that may or may not have your best interests at heart, but the reputable companies set it up so that they never actually have access to your unencrypted data. On the off chance that someone is able to steal your master password, they would then have access to all of your passwords. Some of these programs are cloud-based, so there's always the possibility of your password file being intercepted over the internet, though it would still be encrypted. For the programs that store the passwords on your computer, there's always the possibility that your computer might crash. However, if you're backing up your important information anyway, and you really should be, it's not difficult to also back up your password database. So in short, password managers aren't without risk, but they are a good way to keep track of multiple passwords, enabling you to use long, complicated passwords and a different password for each online account. Should you choose to use a manager, there are several available to you. Here are 3 of the more popular ones. LastPass. LastPass integrates with your web browser. It remembers passwords as you type them in, so you don't ever need to copy and paste them into a separate database. It does the work for you. LastPass can audit your existing passwords and tell you if they're too weak. If your passwords are lacking, it can generate new complex passwords for you. It can also keep track of information like credit card numbers and shopping website profiles. LastPass is free for basic use, or you can pay a yearly fee for additional features, including mobile access. Dashlane. Dashlane shares a lot of features with LastPass. You can choose to store your passwords online, so they're backed up, or just locally on your computer. It can audit your passwords and generate new ones. One neat feature unique to Dashlane is that it allows you to change all of your passwords at one time, with one click. So periodically changing your passwords, which is generally a good idea, becomes a very simple process. Dashlane will automatically fill in data for websites and allows you to create your own notes, then put those notes in the encrypted database. If you have passwords you share with other people, then Dashlane provides a way to share just those passwords without giving away your whole password database. Like LastPass, it has both free and premium versions. Dashlane costs more than LastPass for the premium, but it offers more features. KeePass. While LastPass and Dashlane offer many neat bells and whistles, KeePass is a straightforward, simple tool. It offers strong encryption to protect your passwords. You create your database, put your passwords in, and that's about it. While it may lack the features of the others, it is also very easy to use. It's also stored locally on your computer, so your information isn't synced to the cloud. Depending on how you feel about internet security, this is either comforting or inconvenient. There's always a certain amount of risk involved in doing anything online. You can't control how seriously a company takes online security or how much money they're willing to put into it. You can't control the actions of criminally minded computer hackers. However, you can control how you interact with the web, and setting up solid passwords is a good way to limit any damage you may incur due to people getting access to one of your online accounts. Password managers are one option available to do this. I've given you 3 examples of good password managers, but they aren't the only ones available. Since they're all free, download and play with each of them and see if they're right for you, and if not, you can find another. As always, if you have any questions about this or other topics we've covered, please visit us at the Rowlett Public Library. Thank you.
Dates, dates, dates. All these things to keep in mind. How about that, huh?
Well, we are talking about February.
I'm trying to look at this calendar. Look at that calendar.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the stuff. How do you keep it in mind?
I don't know. You're busy.
Well, I know. Well, I got to try to. So let's talk about some of the things. So those that don't have this really cool calendar that know all the stuff that's going on are able to keep up with it. How about that?
All right. That sounds
all right.
good.
Go ahead. So you start. Let's talk about council.
Council and P&Z meetings in February. We do have a regular council meeting on February 3rd and on February 17th. Planning and zoning meetings will meet February 10th and the 24th. That's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. We also have a work session with City Council, which is more of a planning strategy session on February the 10th as well. All meetings are broadcast live on RTN 16 and through our streaming video on Rowlett.com.
Wow, that was really good. I like that. You did good.
I know.
I'm proud of you.
I'm practicing.
I'm proud of you.
Practicing.
I can tell. You did really good. Now, go ahead.
I was going to say off-site meetings are posted on the following day.
That's fine.
Yes.
I was worried about the next segment, not this one. That's fine. I'll give you.
You're thinking
go ahead.
ahead.
You can
yes.
go blind pause that. Okay. It's one of my what?
One of your favorite departments.
That's right. And who here to help me? And I know you all have been waiting for him. But Rudy! Oh,
Rudy.
hello, Brian. How are you?
Yes,
oh, it's good to see you.
We're going to retire Rudy. That's all I got to say.
Give me a kiss. It's Valentine's Day.
It is February.
So, what are we talking about?
Oh, that's just so sweet. We're going to be talking about the Rowlett Animal Shelter.
That's right, my favorite department.
Yes, and they're hosting 2 low-cost vaccination clinics.
Wait, before we do that, can I introduce my friend?
You have a friend?
I've got... You forgot about him? Are you freaking serious?
No.
What are you doing? Huh? What is this?
All right. Let's introduce your friend.
Well, last month we had a naming contest, if you recall. Remember?
I remember.
And the name, what was the name? We came up with a name.
There were a bunch.
There was a bunch. And we thanked all the people.
Yes.
So I did it on Facebook. They came out and they talked about the names. And guess what won?
I think it was called Rowdy Rowlett.
Rowdy Rowlett, that's right. And so to introduce Rowdy, I'm going to let you have Rowdy.
I will introduce Rowdy.
Now, Rowdy.
I said Rowdy.
It's Rowdy.
And here's
Get it
Rowdy.
right.
Here's Rowdy.
Bruce, okay?
All right. We're going to have dueling banjos here in just a minute. But here is Rowdy. And Rowdy Rowlett.
Rowdy has a raspy type voice.
My name is Rowdy Rowlett.
Thank you very much. Thank God. Do I have to do everything myself?
Well,
it's okay. Don't worry.
You should. So.
He's only the city manager. He's trying. Okay. So let's talk about the animal shelter for just a second. So we've got a low-cost vaccination clinic coming up. That's on February 21st from 1 to 3. We've got another one on March 21st from 1 to 3. And the Rowlett Animal Shelter, of course, is located at 4402 Industrial Street. And you can get more information about costs, events, and other upcoming stuff at the animal shelter. Now, I want to talk about the animal shelter just a second because we are doing really, really well there. We have about a 98% live release rate at the animal shelter.
Oh, boy!
Yay! Okay. Oh, brother. You know, Rowdy just doesn't seem like, he seems a little too, he seems rowdy. He's raspy voice, okay.
He's like a puppet or something.
All right, so let's talk about that for just a second. Now, what's really important to remember is that we've got these really great animals. If you're thinking about adopting an animal, now is one of the best times to be able to do it because we've got a really great bunch of animals at the animal shelter. We've got cats, we've got dogs of different sizes, we've got cats of different colors, we've got, I mean, there's some really cool stuff at the animal shelter.
Yes, there are.
And if you're thinking about it, adoptions run from $25 to $75. And it really has to do with how long the animal's been there.
Yep.
And of course, you know, and they include microchipping. We include vaccination and sterilizations. Did you say sterilizations? No, I didn't say that.
That's not what I heard.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, that's good. How would you like to be sterilized? Would you like that? I wouldn't want that.
They are also open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's right. So, what's important to remember, if you're thinking about checking out, you're thinking about going to the animal shelter, check us out. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5. It's a great way to check us out for one of the animals, or visit our visit my Facebook page because we'll have them up for adoption occasionally on our council meetings. We bring them in. So lots of fun going on, and it's definitely worth it, right?
I think it's worth it.
So, gonna say goodbye to Rowdy.
Goodbye.
Bye, Rowdy. We'll see you next month.
No, you won't. I'll be back.
All right, here we go. All right, let's put these bad boys away. So, what do we got? I think you did well for your first time. I think you did really well. We got to work on that. You know, you did Phil Barrett.
I don't
need to work on Rowdy's voice
such
a little bit.
Blank. I've done voices like Rich Little since I've been a kid.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you take him home, and I'm going to let you practice at home. Okay.
Don't want to do that.
Okay.
Don't want to.
So you're loosening up. I love that. That's really great. All right, so let's think about spring break. We've got activities at the library from March 9th to 13th from ages 6 to 12, and all programs are free. We have lots going on at the library. And one of my really cool things we have, part of our kicking off our downtown Main Street events, is one of my favorite events, kicking off one of the first of what we call our Main Street event series, you know, which is the annual Easter egg hunt. However, what I really like about this event is we're going to be held at the community center.
That's right.
Because it's a much larger area. It's a beautiful lawn, and that's on Saturday, March 28th from 10 to 12 at the Rowlett Community Center.
That's correct,
And you got
Mayor.
20,000 candy-filled eggs. Isn't that cool?
It is just
That's just really
absolutely
good. So
crazy.
we've got an area for the special needs kids. We have, or we call it angel children. We have an area for our different age groups that are there. There's something to do. The only thing you have to bring are your kids and a basket, and you're going to have a lot of fun. I love that event. So it's really good. Now, what do we do on Sunday?
On Sunday, we do almost the same kind of thing, except we do it for our pets.
That's right.
And Sunday, March 29th, this will be from 2 to 4 p.m. at Hereford Park. We'll be doing the same thing with our pets.
Are you going to bring Rowdy?
You know, I
think
just
that would
might
be
have
really
to do
nice.
that. Yeah,
You could.
Yeah,
I think that would
help him find a few eggs.
I think we should do that and show him. I could have you on camera running around picking up eggs with Rowdy. I think that'd be good.
That would be special. Yes.
For fighting the other dogs. Yeah, that'd be really great.
Well, and also remember, to be able to do this and participate in this event, you do need to bring your vaccination records with you, with your pet, so that we can make sure everybody's healthy, and you can register there at the park that day.
That's exactly right, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So Saturday for the kids, Sunday at Hereford Park for the dogs.
And come meet
a lot of
Rowdy.
fun. And you can come. I'm holding you to that. Just remember that. Okay, you said it, I didn't. So, all right, that's that. Now, let's talk about May 9th. Very important date coming up here, and that is the vote on the bond election. Now, the bond election is really important. We've had a bond committee. To date, I actually have only seen a preliminary list of what the bond committee has put together, but these men and women, along with staff, have worked extraordinarily hard to look at all of the needs that we have in the city. These are just wants. These are real needs that we have. So they have evaluated, and they're reevaluating, and they're getting ready to present this list to council. The final list will be on ballot, or be on a ballot for a bond election in May 9th, 2015. Now, this is important because one of the key things about this bond election is there's no tax increase associated with the bond election. And we knew that going in. We've got some debt that's retiring, and we're going to be able to take some of the retiring debt and use that to help fund a lot of these necessities that we have, which is really, really important. So what we need you to get out and vote, because there are going to be several items. We've got some infrastructure projects like neighborhood streets and alleys that are on there. We've got some park needs that are there. We've got some traffic needs that are there. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a whole list of things. They haven't all been approved yet, but it's really important. And of course, I know Kids Kingdom is going to be on there as well. And in addition to that, we have the liquor election that's also going to be on that same bond, or that's on that same date. That's right. And so if you're not familiar with that, we were presented with a petition. I can't remember the name of the group. Rowlett First. And this is really about packaged liquor sales. These are not about bars. These are packaged liquor sales. So allowing stores to come in, like your Specs or like your Total Wines or Seagulls or those other or Goodies, to come in and actually build stores or open stores that actually sell packaged liquor. And so you'll be hearing more on that in the next upcoming month, but two very, very important items on this election, and we need you to get out and vote for that. So that's about it. That's a pretty big calendar, isn't it?
That's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of cool stuff. So that really concludes our program today. We've had a good program, and thanks to all that have tuned in to the February 2015 edition of Rowlett on the Water on the Move. And as usual, as we ask you email us or call us with your suggestions, because that's really important.
And we also always want to thank our communications staff, Drew Rist, the guy behind the Iron Curtain, who assisted with today's...
The green curtain.
I know.
It's the green curtain.
Well, different colors. But, assisted with today's broadcast. Stay tuned for the 2015 State of the City address. That is going to be... our mayor has given our annual State of the City address, and
that's coming up next.
An awful lot to talk about.
That's exactly. Well, we have a lot to be proud about. I mean, we really do. There's a lot going on, and we'll talk about that coming up next. So, until we see you next time, thanks for watching Rowlett on the Water on the Move. Hi, I'm Mayor Todd Gattell, and I'm so pleased to be with you this evening. The City of Rowlett Charter requires that I provide you, the Rowlett citizen, with an update each year called the State of the City. This is a wonderful opportunity to showcase all of the projects, events, and progress our great city has made this past year. So without further ado, here it is, the 2014 A Year in Review. Economic development played a huge role in 2014. Since the adoption of the Realize Rowlett 2020 Vision Plan and a new form-based development code, we've seen a major spike in developer interest and many projects are beginning to come to fruition. The most exciting is the Village of Rowlett downtown development. Breaking ground this spring, this $30 million project will introduce a range of building types and uses within a unique village environment marked by modern housing concepts, local retail and commercial destinations, high-quality pedestrian amenities, memorable open spaces, and a unique vibe all our own. Part of the planning effort has included a strategy to permanently move the Chamber of Commerce building and temporarily relocate the library during the construction process. This development culminates a vision created for downtown by Rowlett citizens 30 years in the making. Along with new restaurant Zanata, 3 additional eateries, including a French bakery cafe, offering outdoor dining opportunities, are on the way. This will add approximately 12,500 square feet of unique commercial space to the city's downtown Main Street. The cafe will open within a year, and the other 2 will be developed and opened within 24 months. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to enjoying a croissant and coffee while dining al fresco. And I'm sure you've already noticed big changes in our downtown area. A $2.5 million sustainability grant from North Texas Council of Governments allowed us to begin the transformation with green spaces, beautiful lighting, landscaping, additional parking, not to mention the extension of Martin Drive right into the heart of downtown. This provides direct access from the Dart Light Rail Station and Highway 66. These enhancements are just the beginning, for you will soon see the Village of Rowlett downtown development begin. Exciting new housing is also on the way in Rowlett. The Homestead at Liberty Grove will offer diverse housing types, serving folks of every stage of life. For example, housing for seniors, those who don't want to maintain large homes and yards anymore, young professionals just out of college, and young couples not ready for a bigger home. Terra Lago, located at Lake Ray Hubbard, and Harmony Hill will also offer the community's young professionals a place for those on the go that they can call home. This helps diversify the city's tax base, providing the population and demographics needed to attract commercial businesses. All of this new development has created opportunities for new businesses to locate right here in Rowlett. Sprouts Farmers Market, Walmart, Neighborhood Market, Discount Tire, Dairy Queen, QT, and Harbor Freight, just to name a few. Lake Point Hospital and D.R. Horton are expanding their current facilities as well. It's no secret how important I feel a quality of life to a thriving, vibrant community is. And that kind of community is created by its people, both citizens and city staff, working together to create a sort of a place that we all want to live. One of the things that makes Rowlett so great are the volunteers. In fiscal year 2014, those who volunteered directly for the city gave back over $380,000. That's 16,437 volunteer hours donated. That's equivalent to 7.8 full-time employee equivalents. When you include the board and commissions and all the other civic organizations, along with CERT, RACES, Keep Rowlett Beautiful, and so many others, that number climbs well over to $1 million annually. One great example, the power of volunteers, occurred in April. The Parks and Recreation Department partnered with Public Works and Keep Rowlett Beautiful to host the Great American Cleanup at Lakeside Park. Over 130 volunteers, including church and scouting groups, and even a class from Schrady Middle School, assisted with landscape projects, litter removal along the shoreline, and implemented playground surface improvements that day. This speech is not long enough to highlight all of the amazing individual volunteers in our city, but I do want to take a moment to tell you about one who received the 2014 Richard Huff Excellence in Community Service Award and her incredible contribution to our community. The Executive Director of Keep Rowlett Beautiful, Martha Brown, coordinates multiple parks and lakeside cleanup events, electronic recycling, and document shredding events each year. She's a tireless fixture at any and all of the community meetings and events. But all this wasn't enough for Martha. Nope. In 2014, she cheerfully tackled the task of writing a $250,000 TxDOT Community Improvement Grant and won. Our community is now blessed with $250,000 to beautify State Highway 66, Lakeshore Parkway. In May, we also welcomed 2 members to the Rowlett City Council, Robert Van Blumendahl and Rick Sheffield. They joined the team, and we're pleased to have them on board. I want to take a moment to brag about our wonderful and amazing staff. Let's start with our emergency services group. Your city's emergency services maintains a 6-minute response time. This is way under the national average and should provide you a great peace of mind if, God forbid, you ever need assistance from our police and fire rescue teams. And Thanks to the great job of these folks in the police department that they do every single day, we are also named by Movado as the 10th safest city in Texas. The Rowlett Fire Rescue received the American Heart Association's Mission Lifeline EMS Silver Recognition Award. This prestigious award recognizes a commitment to and a success in implementing specific quality improvement measures for the treatment of patients who suffer severe heart attacks. Through a grant from the Dallas-Fort Worth Hospital Council, the Rowlett Fire Rescue has partnered with Lake Point Health Network to create a community health paramedic program. This program focuses on community members who have been discharged from Lake Point Medical Center and who have chronic to non-acute conditions. The paramedics assigned to the program perform visits such as blood pressure checks, glucose checks, oxygen saturation checks, ear checks, wound checks, and help revisit hospital discharge instructions with the patient. Your Rowlett Police Department earned the prestigious Recognized Law Enforcement Agency designation in 2014. Only 106 agencies in Texas have been bestowed this honor, which is awarded by the Texas Police Chiefs Association. The police department began a journey to this achievement in 2012 and underwent a critical self-review of their policies, procedures, facilities, and operations. In January, the city launched a new mass citizen notification system called Connect Rowlett. This is a great way to expediently alert everyone to community emergencies, possible weather issues, and other events of interest. Rowlett has also become a smart 911 community offering free service, allowing citizens to create a safety profile for their household, allowing first responders to have advanced information about your home and those living in it. If you haven't already created a household smart 911 profile, I encourage you to visit Rowlett.com and do so. It saves critical minutes in an event of emergency. For the second year, an extremely successful youth and teen academy ran over the summer months, offering kids interested in law enforcement as a future career choice to learn more about what it takes to become an officer and strengthening relationships with our community's youth. The financial stewardship offered by the city is unparalleled, and I could not be more proud. Once again, this year, an unqualified audit opinion was awarded by the external auditors of the city's financial records, presenting in a comprehensive annual financial report, which is the best possible opinion. For the 10th consecutive year, the city received the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for this annual report as well. As it has been for the past 10 years, the city once again received the GFOA Award for Annual Budget. Rowlett was recognized as the Platinum Standard of Transparency, which is the highest honor attainable from the Texas State Comptroller's Office for proudly offering the city's monthly check register by the 15th of the month, financial reports, and complete budget online by going to Rowlett.com. Your City Parks and Recreation Department joined the ranks of only 135 elite park and recreation agency departments across the country by earning accreditation through the Commission of Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies and the National Recreation and Park Association. Folks, I can't tell you how proud I am for them. This was a 2-year process that required them to demonstrate compliance with 144 recognized standards and document all policies and procedures among dozens of other requirements. The Park and Recreation Department also provides cost-effective ways to get and stay fit at the community center. You should really look into becoming a member. This is a great and wonderful gem. There's a full gym, treadmills, racquetball court, and so much more. These folks also spend all year planning amazing events for the entire family. Programs like the Little Sweetheart Dance, Easter Egg Hunt, Puppapalooza, Kidfish Day, Cardboard Boat Regatta, Memorial Day Touch-A-Truck, Fireworks on Main, Movies on Main, Diversity Day, Veterans Day, Main Street Vest and Holiday Parade, just to name a few, and it's only getting better. A community cannot thrive without a quality public works department to maintain the infrastructure, which means streets and water. In June, Rowlett was awarded the 2014 Public Works Project of the Year in the transportation category by the Texas Public Works Association for the Merritt Road expansion. This is a huge accomplishment and the first recognition of its kind for our city. Improved water pressure is on its way throughout different parts of the city. This includes a new elevated storage water tank under construction on Main Street, and it's anticipated to be completed by July of this year. In October, the city's police, fire, rescue, public works, and parks departments all worked together to make 2014's National Night Out a huge success. City staff and equipment from all over these departments, along with your city council members, visited 19 neighborhood celebrations, and everyone really enjoyed climbing in and out of and on top of fire engines, police cars, tractors, and vehicles of all sizes. I also want to provide an update on the transition plan for another integral part of our community, the Rowlett Library. The award-winning Rowlett Library, I should say, because they were once again awarded the Texas Municipal Library Directors Association Achievement of Excellence designation for the 9th consecutive year. And did I mention only 28 of 560 public libraries in Texas received this award? With the downtown development getting ready to begin, it was important that we move the library temporarily to a facility off of Rowlett Road for about 18 months. When the city development is finished downtown, the library will be located on the ground floor of the most prominent building along Main Street. Our future is so bright, and I am so excited about 2015. With funding provided by the developer, the city is actively pursuing the purchase of Elgin B. Robertson Park from the City of Dallas. This has been a lengthy multi-year process which involved the City of Dallas allowing their citizens to vote on whether or not to depark the property. But we're currently as close as we've ever been to realizing the game-changing efforts put forth and the lakeside development to come. Mark your calendars, and on May 9th, the city will hold an upcoming bond election to help with new projects. Due to freed up bonding capacity, if the bond election will pass, it will pass with no tax increase. That's incredible news, and what an opportunity to recapture this capacity and make real difference in our community. The final projects for this election have not been identified, but those in discussion include street, alley, drainage repairs, public safety facilities, parks and infrastructure improvements, or those involving technology. The CIP task force, made up of Rowlett citizens and business leaders, were appointed last fall, and they're currently working on developing a list of projects to be included. The Kids Kingdom playground plans are coming along just as well. It will once again be located in beautiful Pecan Grove Park, but there's so much work to be done, and we need your help. Volunteers are an integral part of the fundraising, design, and construction of the original playground, and once again, you will be needed to help facilitate the new one, which we anticipate installing by the end of 2015. The stars, the moon, and the sun are definitely in alignment in Rowlett, and with so many critical elements in alignment, an exemplary city staff, a city council who respects and works well with each other, and an economy which continues to improve, Rowlett is definitely on the move. I could not be more proud of our great staff and city council, and of course the citizens. And we can't forget those that came before us, because you helped make Rowlett great. You helped make Rowlett one of the best places to live in North Texas. I'm so blessed to be serving as your mayor. And 2015, it's shaping up to be an incredible year and one of the best and most dynamic in Rowlett history. Thank you, and God bless you.